Hello, welcome to Lil's Vintage World. So this video is one of my history book reviews where I take some history books and review them for you. All of these books I was kindly sent from the publisher, which is Made Global Publishing, so thank you very much to you guys for sending me them. Let's get straight into it. So usually when I do these types of videos, I review 3 books. However, I'm going to review 3 books and a series, so you get a little bit extra. So, the series that I'm going to review for you is called the History in a Nutshell series, which is a series of kind of small books, all non-fiction, on various different topics. These, I think, is a bit of a stepping stone, bridging the gap, if you will, between just like a normal paragraph in a, you know, big encyclopedia or a big reference book, and that between a, you know, big non-fiction book on the subject. So there are quite a few that I have to share with you, but also there are quite a few more. So if you think, oh, none of these take my fancy, go and have a look because there are plenty more. All of these books are quite slim. They've got plenty of information, but they also do have some images as well, some more than others, but they're all fantastic. Lots of primary source evidence throughout, and just fantastic to, as I said, bridge the gap. So if you're interested in a certain topic or whatever, have a look, see if there's that topic available for you to kind of dip your toe in the water, so to speak. So the ones that I have read and enjoyed, I think they're all great. So I have Caesar Borgia by Samantha Morris, Thomas Cranmer by Beth von Statz, The Mary Rose by Philip Roberts, 1066 and the Battle of Hastings by Charlie Fenton, Edward VI by Kyra Kramer, Whitehall Palace by Philip Roberts, and Henry VIII's House, also by Kyra Kramer. As you can tell, some of them are on specific people, some of them are on historical places, so that means there is a book out there for everyone. Okay, so get into the big books. First up, I have On This Day in Tudor History by Claire Ridgway. So this book is exactly as what it says on the tin. It is On This Day in Tudor History, so it takes each day of the year, the calendar year, and it says what happened on this day in Tudor history through various different years. This is a book that, for me, a complete Tudor geek, that I love. I pick it up every couple of days and just see what was going on in certain years through Tudor history. This book I would recommend to someone who's, like me, just obsessed with the Tudors. Also, perhaps if you're a teacher, or you do quizzes, or you're just a bit interested in knowing dates and things like that. Or I think this would be brilliant if you're writing like a historical fiction novel. I think this book would be great to make sure that you're getting your dates right. So next I have Pustules, Pestilence and Pain, Tudor Treatments and Ailments of Henry VIII by an author who I'm not going to try and pronounce because I know I will get it wrong. So this is a really interesting book looking at Henry VIII and the ailments they had. When he was young, Henry was really athletic, he was really into his sport. He was a great hunter, he loved jousting, he loved tennis, he was like the best archer that there was, and he was a great athlete, he was a great sportsman of his day. However, he did have some accidents with sport. Famously, he had quite a bad jousting accident. He actually ended up with a couple of jousting accidents, and this book talks about the problems that he faced and other problems in the Tudor period like smallpox, etc., and discusses how they were remedied, how they were treated. It even includes some recipes, although I won't try it at home. I don't think they'll be very nice. And also discusses things like what courtiers thought about it. This book also includes quite a bit of primary source evidence, in particular letters from courtiers to do with Henry and his ailments. This book is aesthetically very beautiful. It's quite a bit of glare, so I apologise for that, but inside it is colour, it's beautiful. This I think would be perfect for anyone who of course is interested in the Tudor period and Henry VIII, but also for anyone that's interested in the history of medicine, I think would really appreciate this book. And then finally, last but certainly not least, I have George Boleyn, Tudor Poet, Courtier and Diplomat by Claire Cherry and Claire Ridgway. So this book is a full-length biography of the life of George Boleyn. George Boleyn, as we know, is the brother of Anne Boleyn. Everyone knows that, but he deserves to be known in his own right. Both Claire Cherry and Claire Ridgway write that he is a Tudor courtier, a diplomat, a poet, but also he's a highly intelligent man, and it's fascinating to learn a bit more about his life and the real George Boleyn. My favourite chapter in this was the chapter on social pursuits, just learning about the things that he enjoyed. So he enjoyed jousting, he was quite athletic, he really enjoyed his sports, but also great at things like card games and gambling. He even took money from the king, quite large amounts of money, and I find that fascinating. It was also really interesting to learn about him and his sister's similarities in their interest in books. So as we know, Anne had a lot of books. She loved reading and learning and debating. George also had a love of books and learning, and I can imagine them sitting together discussing topics of a certain book or having a little debate between themselves. Claire Cherry and Claire Ridgway make George Boleyn just come to life through the pages. It was lovely to read. I have read a book by Claire Ridgway before, which was on the fall of Anne Boleyn, which is packed with primary source detail, and this is no exception. This has plenty of primary source information all throughout, and it just flows so brilliantly. So I can't recommend this book enough. Please go and read it if you're a fan of the Tudor period, or you just want to learn more about George Boleyn, or if you are a fan of Anne Boleyn, then read about her brother because he is just as fascinating. So there we are, that is my history book reviews. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please give it a big thumbs up, and let's have a chat in the comments about all things bookish. So that's it for today's video. Take care, and I shall see you soon for the next one. Bye for now.